Right folks, we are in Long Eaton in Derbyshire at Pidcocks Motorcycles in Derbyshire to ride this, the Triumph RS Speed Triple. So boot her up and we've got an absolutely shocking day for it. It's chucking it down rain and it has been all morning, and it is going to chuck it down, well, possibly for the rest of the day. Hello. So I have a bit of a confession to make. I did ride this bike last week, and the reason I'm back testing it today is simply because my microphone bobbed up in my helmet last week, so I had no audio. I got home, downloaded the card, went and had a look at what was on the cards, and it was just silent. So you didn't get the benefit of me talking rubbish. So we're just going to go out today, do a bit more riding so I can get the talking rubbish bit out of the way. But we've got to do it in this tragically wet, stinky weather with Supercorsas on. So I am going to be tiptoeing my way around this morning. Oh, just smelt a pie shop. Oh, that smelled good. I do love this bike. It is a little belter. So we've got this lovely little TFT going on, 5-inch full colour TFT, multiple different settings. This is my favourite setting, the way it is now, but I think there's something for everybody in that little box. So this is the one with the full Öhlins suspension on it, front and rear, and you really can tell, because when I hopped back on my 1050 Sport last week and came up this same road after riding this one, it nearly shook my teeth out. The suspension just feels very, very plush and sophisticated. I will go faster than 20 miles an hour, I promise. Although I won't be taking this on any twisties today, simply because the weather is so bloody awful. I must have picked the worst day of the year to actually do this test ride. So there is a, well, I'm going to call it a quick shifter. There is a quick shifter on this bike. I'm just going to call it quick shifter as a generic term. So I have been told that the quick shifter is a bit clunky. I've seen someone else's video as well where they say that it's a bit clunky, but when I rode this bike last week, I just thought it was fine. There was no issue with it at all for me. So whether that's just the fact that it was a new bike that the other guy was riding, I don't know. You know, they're not actually bedded in, but this one is really smooth actually. Gives a little blip on the downshift as well. It feels rock solid as well on the road. Absolutely rock solid. Jesus, this weather. It is getting worse. The downshifter works absolutely fine as well. A little bit, feels a little bit clunkier going down the gears. But that's probably due to the fact that I'm tiptoeing around like, yeah, that's smooth as silk going up through the gears. Absolutely smooth as silk. So all the switch gear on the bike is illuminated as well, so you can find stuff in the dark. I'm going to go up here and I've got a plan for doing the walk around. So headlights on, we've got cruise control, we've got 5 rider modes as well. So at the moment I'm in road mode. I tend never to use the rain mode. It's not that slippery, to be honest. I rode over here this morning from home on my own bike, a little bit more spirited than I'm riding this one, because this is not mine. And the traction control never cut in once actually, but it's certainly not dry today. It's just, well, look at it, it's shite. It sounded a little bit clunky, didn't it? So I've got all the normal cruise control settings, traction control, cornering ABS. I think it's got 4 or 5 axis IMU, I can't remember now, so it knows where the bike is lean angle wise and knows how much traction control and ABS to incorporate. Oh yeah, I felt a bit twitchy there. And when you change the rider modes in the rider settings, it automatically alters all of those control, traction control, all those settings as well. What a day for testing a full naked muscle bike like this. God, this weather is just bloody awful. Such a shame that it's not dry. Getting wet, getting wet. So I'm going to do the walk around under here. Sounds amazing. Is that water coming out of the radiator? Oh yeah, it's just coming out the fins. I thought it got a leak. So there she is then, folks. The Triumph Speed Triple RS. What a beauty. What a cracking little bike that is. So symmetrical, apart from the single-sided swing arm, but everything else about her is really symmetrical. Small, perfectly proportioned. Reminds me of McAwee in his day. Amazing little bodybuilder. 5'4". A pocket rocket, pretty much like this beauty. So paint job comes in this matte black with these fluorescent green flashes and grey. Seems like everything's going matte nowadays. It's not my favourite. It's not my favourite. I'd rather have something shiny. So it comes in this matte black or crystal white. The wheels, dirty now, but they're this high gloss alloy, cast alloy. Really nice shape as well, that back wheel. 5-spoke offset casting, looks lovely. The frame and subframe, twin spar aluminium frame and an aluminium subframe as well. I like the way they've sculpted it so it looks like part of the actual bodywork of the bike. Really blends in nicely. The lights, we've got, hang on, let's turn them on. So these are the headlights. Plenty bright enough, I think you'll agree. And there's also this daytime running light on that switch there. So if you flick that up, goes onto the LED daytime running lights. They're super bright themselves, aren't they? There's something about those lights, isn't there? Who says spectacles can't be sexy, eh? So lovely little aluminium bar end mirrors. Work perfectly well. can see plenty behind me and down the road. You do get a bit of your arm in the image, but it's not too bad. Colour-coded belly pan. Let me come around that side, show you the belly pan. Yep, colour-coded belly pan, matching the rest of the bike. Exhausts, Arrow titanium, twin exhausts. Adds to that symmetry thing. 26 years in the making of this bike. It's all come down to this. What a beauty. What an absolute beauty. And you can tell it feels just so planted. It's a delight to ride this bike, especially with that Öhlins suspension front and rear. So front mudguard is carbon fibre. Other touches, so these wind deflectors. These are, I'm not sure whether the mudguard and this wind deflector, whether you have to buy it separately to have the wind deflectors on. I heard that the wind deflectors they're an optional extra, but this one has them on and it's integrated, it's made into the mudguard there, so not sure how that works. Lots of these other little carbon fibre touches around the bike. More here, inlaying the tank there. Heat shields on the exhaust, end cones, end caps on the exhaust as well. Really beautiful. The fit and finish is absolutely sublime. Lovely little touches. All the nuts and bolts. Full Öhlins suspension. Here's the rear one. Front forks are, I think they're Showa. Fully adjustable Showa upside down forks. And a monoshock rear suspension unit. Brembos, I think that's front and rear, 4 pots on the front, twin front brake disc and Brembo radial monoblock calipers. Very difficult to see on the back because they're right up next to the back wheel and the calipers underneath, so I can't actually see that. A lovely 5-spoke rear wheel. Not so shiny today, thanks to that filth, look at it. Tyres, Pirelli Diablo Supercorsas, not ideal in this weather. There is a USB charging point on here somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where it is. I'll have to ask back at the shop. Many thanks to Pidcocks for letting me take this bike out. Pidcocks in Long Eaton, Triumph dealership. They've also got in 2 other dealerships down there, BMW and Ducati. And they've now also ventured into the electric bike market with the Zero, which I will be riding in a couple of weeks' time. That will be my next ride from Pidcocks. So get yourselves down there, see John or Ian. Ian's general manager. John is one of the salesmen there. Great bunch of guys, really nice. So engine maximum power 148 brake horsepower at 10,500 RPM. Maximum torque 86 foot-pounds at 7,150 RPM. So dry weight of this bike 192 is what Triumph say. Wet weight 212 kilos. So not heavy. It just looks so muscular and sinewy, doesn't it? So competition in the super naked bracket of bikes. The only order that I've put these in is cost order, so I'm not saying that those bikes are in this bracket, but if I was looking for a bike like this, I'd also be considering those and the prices of those as well. And I think this one is highly competitive, especially when you throw in the fact that at the moment there is a £1,000 deposit contribution on this bike. So the quick shifter is also thrown in. That would work out at 350 quid, and also you get a 500 quid clothing voucher. So a good time to buy. Let's get back on it and we'll ride it some more. So what I've got to say about this bike then, yeah, so I believe this is one of the first super nakeds that came to the market way back in 1994. There's been several iterations of this bike in that 26 years. I think it's been changed probably 5 times, which has brought us to this model, the RS, which you can tell it's quality. You can tell that this has been around for a while and they've ironed out all the little glitches and creases and blemishes. It's just a beautiful thing to ride. It feels absolute quality. I know I keep saying that, but it's not until you actually get on this thing and ride it that you can actually feel that quality for yourself. I am a Triumph fanboy anyway, you know that, but this bike, I dare anybody to get off it and say, nah. If you were going to personify this and give it a name, it would have to be something like Dave or Reg, something manly. Flipping heck. Dick. Oh no, that's the rider. Rider mode, Dick. For a dick. Or super dangerous. Super dick. The thing that you do notice about this bike when you're used to riding a faired bike is that it is a naked. You do get the full benefit of the wind and the rain. It's on a day like today, you know, it's not going to be your first choice of bike to ride, especially with those Supercorsa Diablos on the back as well. I'm just riding at a very conservative sort of pace. So I'm supposed to be going to test ride another bike over at Grantham this afternoon. I think I'm going to postpone that. I might do that at the weekend. But talking to Ian this morning, he's quite keen. Ian's the manager, the general manager of the Triumph place for Pidcocks. So they're quite keen to get me out on a few more of their bikes so I can make videos for you guys. We were talking this morning about, well, all sorts of bikes, but one of them is the Rocket 3. Not on a day like today. So on a dry day, we will schedule to hit the roads on the Rocket 3. That is super exciting. Yeah, even at low speeds, this bike feels so sure-footed. It goes wherever you point it. But it's fantastic. It's summer day on the twisties. It's just so eager to just go. Go, go, go! I love that dash layout. I wish, and I'm not sure whether it's possible or not, I wish you could put this kind of layout onto the Rally Pro or the GT Pro, because I far prefer that than what is currently on those machines at the moment. The TFT is great. It's a, you know, it's a huge, it's like an iPad or something in front of you. Very clear, easy to see and read and all the rest of it, but I just don't like the setup of it. I much prefer that, where you can see your revs going up. The rev counter on the Tigers, it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive and a little bit odd. I'm not sure whether it's possible to do an upgrade. I might ask if I remember when I get back to the shop if that's possible. That you can run sort of an update onto your TFT, or whether once the TFT is made, that's what you've got to have. If Triumph did that as an option, that would be awesome. What don't I like about this bike then? Well, at the moment I don't like the fact that it's not a fully fared adventure bike, because I'm just wet. Other than that, there's very little to dislike about this bike. I don't like these pots right under your nose. You can just see it all the time. Just match it to the forks or something, a gold pot or something with a sight glass running up the side, something like that, just so it sets the bike off, or colour coded, something, I don't know, but not that. Other than that, oh, like I say, very little not to like. The seating position, the triangle between feet, bum and hands is just so super comfortable. If my skill set was greater, it would be awesome to take one of these out on the back roads and just throw it around some bend. I think I've got enough skills in the box to manage to have some fun on something like this, but I would never get anywhere near its potential with regard to horsepower. I think probably the Street Triple would probably be a better option, but this is a beauty without any doubt at all. The suspension is sublime, plush, gorgeous. If I was a younger bloke and I did this sort of riding, hooligan riding, or even, you know, if I won the lottery or something, or came into some money and I could afford to keep another bike in the garage, that bloke nearly crashed into the back of his partner. God, how would you fill in an insurance claim on 2 of those things? Good bit of braking in the wet though. Yeah, I would like one of these in the garage, definitely. Without riding the street triple. I think if I rode the street triple, I'd probably say no, actually. I'd prefer to have that one in the garage. Here we are, back at Pidcocks. Like I say, if you are interested in any of these bikes that I review from Pidcocks, just give the guys a call. They're just off the M1 at a place called Long Eaton. I think if you come off at junction 24 off the M1 and just follow the signs for Long Eaton, or just put in Pidcock, you'll go straight to them. Make sure you get the right Pidcocks though. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you on the next video. Cheers guys.